Hello guys, welcome back to the second part of this tutorial, and in this video we will cover the remaining part, which is the day mode and the switch between the day mode and the night mode. So this is where we left off in the last video. So in this video what we will first do is to make a copy of this wrapper night, and basically we will repeat the same thing for our wrapper day. So I will just copy this whole thing and paste it just after this closing div, and I'm going to rename a few things like the name of the class. So this wrapper night will become wrapper day, and then this container night will become container day for the day mode, and then I'm going to change the name of the images that we were using. So on the on the day mode we are going to use this blue shoe.png, and for the tick image we have tick day.png. So these two images we are going to use for the day mode. So after saving this, as you can see, this is overlapping on the previous div. So we will need to add some more CSS for this day mode in order to fix these things. Now going into my CSS file, just like we had defined this wrapper night, I'm going to define this wrapper day. And inside it, first thing I will do is set the z index to -1, because we want our day mode theme to sit behind the night mode theme. So right now I will comment this out, because otherwise we will not be able to see it. Now for the background color of this wrapper day, we will have the BG color day that we had defined. And then for the nav, I'm going to this time use background color night, because the text should be black this time. And then we have for the sign in button a different linear gradient with primary color day and secondary color day. And the same thing I will repeat for the buy button. So first thing is the text wrapper. For H4 I'm going to use color BG color night, and then for the span I'm going to use secondary color day. And now the next thing is our buy button. So for that also I'm changing the background and the color, and then for the BG circle also I'm changing the linear gradient color. And one more thing that I'm going to add is for the image top 60 pixel, because I'm just adjusting the two images that we have on the wrapper day and the wrapper night. So as you can see now, right now the wrapper day is on the top of wrapper night and it is overlapping it. So what we need to do is set the z index back to -1, so that only the topmost layer, that is the wrapper night, is. So once we have changed the z index to -1, we should be able to see the night mode only. And what we need to do next is to add a drag button, and when we will drag that button, we will change the width of the wrapper night, so that wrapper day will always be visible, but on dragging it the button we will change the width of the wrapper night, and only that part will be in the night mode. So for the drag button I am using this div with an ID of division, and inside this we have a div with a class name of drag. Now going to my CSS file, I am going to add some CSS specific for these buttons. So let me just bring that code here. So for the division I'm using position absolute height 100%, and giving this one a width of 5 pixel, and then background color display flex, and adding some box shadow. So you can see on the left we have this green kind of division thing. Now inside that we have the drag button. Now before defining the CSS for my drag button, I am going to add some pseudo elements. So for the division, before we have this content called red, and then the color primary color night, and then some letter spacing, font size, and then this background color of BG color night. And the next thing is for the division after, we have the content blue, and then again the same color scheme, position absolute from left 50 pixels. So as you can see, this blue is there, and on the left right now you are not able to see it, is our red. Now we need to add the CSS for the drag button, so let me bring that code here. So for that, nothing special, position absolute, width and height of 60 pixel, and then adding some border around it, and then transform translate 0 -50% to make it centered, and then adding some box shadow and setting the cursor to move. So now you should be able to see this. Now in the JavaScript we should be able to drag this one. We should add some JavaScript to drag this button around and change the night mode to day. So inside my main.js file, what I'm going to do is first define my event listener on the document object. So on this we will define add event listener, and the event is DOM content loaded. So when the DOM content is loaded, then we will execute our JavaScript. Now the first thing that we need to do is get the first section, which is nothing but our night mode. So for the first section, I will access it using document.getElement by class name, and the name is wrapper night. And since this get elements by class name returns an array, I am going to access the first element. So this first section will hold the reference for our wrapper night. So first thing we will do is, for the first section, I will set the style dot width to 0, because we want to increase the width as we drag that drag button around. So now the next thing that we need to do is here I will access my division. So let division is equal to document dot get element by id, and the id we have given is division. So this will give us a reference for that division so that we are able to drag it. Now I am going to define a function drag element, and it will take the division as a parameter. So for the function definition, I am defining the function drag element, and which takes as parameter this element. So first thing we will do is get the initial position, and for that I am getting the position 1 is equal to 0 and position 2 is equal to 0. I will define what these position 1 and position 2 are doing in a moment. Now first thing is to define more event listener on this element. So on mouse down we will call this drag mouse down function, and few more things that we need to define here. So I will define this function drag mouse down, which takes as parameter the event. Now I'm calling the event.prevent default to prevent any default behaviors. Now inside it, what I will do first is initialize my position to e.clientTags. Now if you don't know what client tags do, I will explain you in a moment. For now you can consider it as initial position for the position 2. Now the next thing I'm doing is document dot on mouse up. So once the user is dragging and now the mouse is up, we want to close the drag element. So once the mouse is up, we will call this function close drag element. And now when the mouse is moving, we will call the function element drag. So with these two functions I'm going to define. So first thing, let's define the function close drag element. So inside this, what we will simply do is whatever event that we had defined earlier, that is document.onMouseUp, I will set it to null, and document.onMouseMove, I will also set it. Now the next thing that we need to define is our element drag function, but before that let me discuss about what this client tags do. So you can head on to this website in order to know about it in more detail. So what this does is basically gives us the horizontal coordinate within the application client's area at which the event occurred. So this is the definition. So what it basically does is it gives the x coordinate relative to the div. So if this is the container and we have this, so we should have this client x and y 0 at somewhere at top of this div, and then we have the maximum client x and client y in this bottom right, and the screen x screen y gives us the position, the coordinates relative to the screen, but the client x and client y gives us the coordinates relative to the container inside which we are trying to access it. So in our case it is the section that we have on our landing page. So let's define that element drag here. So this function will also take the e, which is event, as parameter. So for this one also I'm dot prevent default. So not e comma, let me fix it, e dot prevent default. Now what we are going to calculate next is our position 1. So I will set it to position 2 minus e dot client x. Now we had already set the position 2 value to e dot client x. So this will basically gives us the difference between the current position and the previous position. So this position 1 will be a negative value. and it will tell by how much we have moved. And I will set position 2 to e.clientX. So in order to set the position 2 to the current value of clientX. Now for that element, now we can define by how much it had moved from the left. So for that I will simply set element.style.left is equal to element.offset left, and then subtract my position 1, and then append that px in order to make it a pixel value. So with this we will be able to move our element in the horizontal direction. Now what this offset left is, basically it gives us, let me show you in detail. It returns the number of pixels that the upper left corner of the current element is offset to the left. So basically it tells the distance from the left of the screen, and then we subtract it with our position 1 and appending this px to return the pixel value. Now subtracting the position 1 because we are moving this element to the right. And now we will set the first section, the style dot width equal to whatever we got in the previous line, which is the element dot style dot left. So we will set the width equal to how much we have moved that div from the left of the screen. So now we should be able to drag it and see our transition from day mode to night mode. So that is pretty much all that we need. Now if you need to see some more details, so I will show you that. So what I will do is let me add some console so that you can see the values and how it is getting updated. So we initialize this position 2 to e.clientX, and then we set the position 1 is equal to position 2 minus e.clientX to get the difference. So this will basically return the delta. So let me add that comment here, calculate the delta, which is nothing but the difference between the previous position and the current position. And then we updated the position 2 to e.clientX. And then we updated the left values and the width of the first section. Now if you are confused about this minus sign, let me change it to plus and see what happens. So now if you drag to the right, the div will go to the left, and when we drag to the left, it will go to the right. And that is because the position 1 that we are getting at line number 25 is a negative number. So in order to make it positive, we have to add this minus sign. So let me just console.log position 1 so that you can see what exactly we are getting as the difference. So let me bring that console tab here, Control Shift I. Now as you can see, when we are drag, you should be able to see this -1, 0, -2 sometimes. So this is by how much pixel we are moving to the right, and when we move to the left, we get the positive values, that is 1 or 2. Now let me also console log position 2. So let me save this one, and now you should see the position 2 is basically telling us by how much pixels we have moved toward the right, and while going to the left it shows us the updated values. So at the leftmost position the clientX is 0. Now apart from these changes, one more thing that I did is to add some more CSS to make it a little responsive. Again, the responsiveness is not perfect, but you can always improve it, and so this CSS makes sure that it looks good on lesser width devices as well. So these are nothing but media queries. So I have done is reduce the padding, reduce the width, and reduce everything. So and then again for 756 pixels, reducing several things to make it look good. So that's all guys for this video. I hope you will like this, and if you like this video, then don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, and also if you haven't subscribed yet, then please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.